Welcome to Impact Makers Radio, featuring industry thought leaders sharing problem-solving insights to help grow your business and live the life you love. And here's your host, Stewart Andrew Alexander.
Hi, and welcome to another Let's Talk Divorce conversation. And on this segment of the show, I have family law attorney Howard Peritz, founder of the Law Offices of Howard Peritz, and is calling in all the way from the Chicago area. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Howard has a wealth of experience in the area of family law, and we'll be talking to you today about something really interesting. Howard's going to be sharing with us the changes to the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act as of the 1st of July 2017. So this has not happened. This is something that's forthcoming. So this is going to be really interesting. If you're a divorcing couple, I think it's time for you to down tools, take a break, switch off Facebook, whatever the case may be, sit back, grab a notepad and pen, and listen in to what Howard has to share with us today. So with that said, let's not keep him waiting any longer. Welcome to the show, Howard.
Thanks for having me, Stuart.
You're so welcome. So, Howard, let's just jump straight in. Can you briefly describe the kinds of people who you serve and the various types of situations they find themselves in when they come to you for your help?
Certainly. I help both men and women who are having troubles in their marriage and have tried different ways to fix the marriages, and it hasn't worked, and they want to separate and divorce. The different kinds of situations I find myself in are varied. I get people who have no children, no property, and just want to make a nice clean break. I have people who have no children and property, and they want to fight over the property. I have people who have children and no property and want to fight about the kids. And I have people who have both property and children and want to fight over everything.
So people who want to fight, basically, right?
Well, not entirely. When I get people who just want a clean break, I can very easily help them just get through the paperwork and we get it done very quickly. It's those who want to fight that take the longer route.
Right. So keeping that in mind then, Howard, and obviously anything that you share with us today is not legal advice or legal assistance. Can you briefly share one of the most common misconceptions, and I'm sure there are many misconceptions out there, but just one of the common misconceptions surrounding the changes that's going to be happening with the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act coming up on the 1st of July? Absolutely.
Right now, people come to me, and when they talk about their child support obligation, if it's the father, he goes, "Oh, I know I owe 20% of my net." If it's the mother, she goes, "Oh, I know my husband owes 20% of the net." And that's being sexist because it could be the other way around. But having said that, effective July 1st, there's been a total change to the way we calculate child support. The way it is right now, the non-custodial parent pays a percentage of their net income based upon how many children. So if it's one child, it's 20%. If it's two children, it's 28%. If it's three children, it's 32%. And from there, it goes up. Under the new law, however, we have what's called income sharing. And this is something that more than 40 other states have already adopted. Illinois is now becoming one of them. And under income sharing, you look at the total income of the family and you make a determination of which parent contributes what percent to that family. And that percentage will continue on based upon a number that is being put out by an Illinois department. Unfortunately, even though the law is coming into effect July 1st, they have yet to give us those numbers. But for example, I had a situation where clients came to me, a man came to me, and his salary was somewhere between $10,000 and $11,000 a month. The wife's was between $6,000 and $7,000 a month. So they were making roughly $18,000 a year. It turned out that husband was contributing 60% to the total income, wife was contributing 40%, and the determination was made that based on $18,000 a month income, $3,000 a month is used to raise the child. So because husband made 60% of the income, husband was responsible for 60% of that $3,000 or $1,800. The difference comes in when the non-custodial parent has 146 overnight visitations or more. And under those circumstances, it becomes more expensive for the non-custodial parent because he's got that many more overnights where he's got to feed the child, clothe the child, house the child. We increase that number, that $3,000 number, by a factor of 50%. So we're now talking about $4,500. And then we reverse those percentages. So whereas husband would have been responsible for 60%, now of this bigger number, he's only responsible for 40%. Now, when we're talking about $3,000, those numbers actually don't change when you reverse the percentages. It comes out to $1,800 anyway. But that's not true of a 70% situation or others like that. But in a nutshell, that's the huge change that's coming into effect July 1st.
Today's topic, as a reminder for our listeners out there, is the changes to the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act as of the 1st of July 2017. Now, with that in mind, Howard, and for those divorcing couples wanting to know more, and as the date approaches, what's the most common but unknown pitfall that you'd like to bring to their attention today?
They need to be aware of the change, and they have to be very, especially if you were I hate to use this phrase because we've gone away from custodial parent, but we all know what that means. If you are the non-custodial parent, you want to be very careful when setting your child support allocation, because if you do it before July 1st, you won't be able to change it just because of the change of the law. You need to find out when and what the Healthcare and Family Services Department sets out as its schedule. That is the biggest pitfall that I see for people who are going through this situation, starting it now.
So, Howard, how long have you been a family law attorney now?
32 years.
Is this something that you still enjoy? Do you still feel that passion every morning when you wake up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love helping people, and there are times, I hate to say this on the radio, but I've taken short money because I felt badly for the people who were involved. I don't want to make that my practice too often, but on a case-by-case basis, I will do it because I feel that the person is being wronged horribly. I like to be able to help people. On the other hand, I get some people who say, well, I want that television that's in the basement. And my response to them usually is, do you really want to pay my hourly fee to get a television that you could pay $250 to get a new one? So, that's where the passion comes in. I don't want to fight over stuff. I don't want to fight, period. My objective as the lawyer is to get a fair settlement for my client, do it as effectively and quickly as I can so that they love me, which is very hard for a family law lawyer to do.
While we're on that topic, if you could just expand a little bit, because I'm sure because of the short amount of time that we've had and the amount of great information that you've shared with us so far, I'm sure the listeners would want to know even a little bit more about Howard. Who is he? What drives him? So if you could just share a little bit about yourself in terms of your background, your education, and your experience as it relates to the topic of family law. That would be great. Thanks, Howard.
Certainly. My undergraduate degree is from the University of Illinois in Chicago, not the one in Urbana, which everybody knows. And then I went to IIT, Chicago-Kent College of Law, which is also here in Chicago. And I passed the bar on my first shot, which is not so usual anymore. And I've been working in various aspects of the law since 1984, May of 84. There's always been some family law in it. It's only been in the last 5 to 10 years that's been the primary focus of my practice. I have tried numerous cases, although I try to avoid going to trial for my client's benefit, even though I love being in front of a judge and fighting. I'm a frustrated actor. I wanted to be an actor when I was in high school, and that wasn't going to work out. So I get to do it in a courtroom.
Nice one. I like it.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and continue.
So I'm married with 2 kids of my own, and that's me in a nutshell.
So, Howard, I'd like you just for a moment to picture the kind of divorcing couples, the people who come to you, they walk through your door and they're looking for help and they want to know more about these forthcoming changes to the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act coming on the 1st of July 2017. So with that picture in mind then, Howard, what final thoughts would you like to leave those people before we move on to our final question today?
Sure. The final thought is, unless you're in a situation where there are no children and virtually no property, don't try to do it on your own. And I'm not saying that because I want to make a fee. I'm saying that because you could cause more damage than you think by not having somebody who lives with this law, who studies this law, who talks to other practitioners and judges about this law. I mean, I'm a member of a few bar associations, and we have a family law committee meeting once a month where we sit with the judges in a very open and sharing atmosphere and discuss all of the changes that are coming about and what the judges think will be happening and what we think should be happening. So, and if you're not a part of that, you can't possibly know what you need to know unless you're in a very limited situation.
Okay, Howard, unfortunately we are out of time, but before we leave, if there is somebody out there who wants to know more about the forthcoming changes to the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act, how would they be able to contact you? Where would they reach you, Howard?
Well, they can either go to my website, which is www.howardperitzlaw.com, and Peritz is spelled P like Peter, E-R-I-T like Tom, Z like zebra. Or they can reach me on my phone, 847-562-5880, extension 101. That's directly to me.
Okay, so whether you're sat in heavy traffic, I hope that's not the case, or you're tuning in from home, listening in on your cell phone, tablet, or any other kind of personal device, that's all we have time for today, unfortunately. Once more, that was Howard Peritz. Thank you so much for sharing so generously with us today, Howard. You have certainly demonstrated that you're a true educator and advocate for your clients' success. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Stewart, for having me. I enjoyed speaking with you.
You are so welcome. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to you, the listener, for joining us on this what I can only describe as a very insightful and informative discussion with one of the leading family law attorneys in the Chicago area. So make sure you do check him out, give him a call, visit his website. You'll certainly be in good hands. So again, I'm Stewart Andrew Alexander, and we'll be back shortly with some more leading divorce professionals in this, our series of Let's Talk Divorce Conversations. So, until then, take care, have a great day, and we'll talk real soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Impact Makers Radio. To listen to all past, present and future industry thought leaders and trendsetters, visit us at impactmakersradio.com.